Hey everybody, welcome to Out the Trunk with Jordan and Darius. This is our movie review segment. I'm Jordan. You can find me on all socials at Jordy B Writing.
And I'm Darius. That's D's all up in the area on all socials.
And today we're going to be reviewing the movie Good Boys. This movie was released in 2019, starring Jacob Tremblay, Kenneth L. Williams, Brady Noon, Molly Gordon, Midori Francis, Will Forte, Lil Rel Howery, Retta, and Millie Davis. Good Boys is about three sixth graders named Max, Lucas, and Thor, like God of Thunder, who find themselves in a series of misadventures while trying to attend a party. Their journey involves a stolen drone, a desperate quest to replace it, and navigating the complexities of their friendship and the cusp of adolescence. So I'm gonna toss it to you to open up for Act One.
Act one, we're going to call the pre-party panic. Three preteen friends are invited to their first kissing party. Their mission to learn how to kiss and fit in leads to a series of escalating missteps, including a disastrous drone theft. First observation question off the bat, is this like a sort of like a modern take on Superbad? Is that what we're going for here?
Yeah, I think basically that's kind of
Okay.
what the vibe was. Yeah.
All right. All right. Makes sense. That's kind of what I was thinking when I
Mhm.
was watching it. I was like, this is just like a prepubescent super bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is amazing how much older teenagers seem to them at that age. Because
Right.
you're watching the movie through the eyes of them, and all of the
Mhm.
teenagers just they seem older to me watching it because through the eyes of the kids. But
Right.
they're like 14, 15 years old at the time as well. So interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
What you got for Act One?
Um, I love how this movie does a great job of perfectly illustrating like how stupid kids are.
Yes.
Cause like it's just you just think about like all the shit we thought as kids, like the rumors that we heard. Like remember when we were kids and it was like Sierra's a man and like or like or like I'm trying to think like you could get like um some sort of disease from like drinking the water fountain or like the stupid shit that we believed as kids. This movie did a really good job of like showing that.
Or like like there was like this little muck lake around, and we thought there was like a monster
Mhm.
in it, and it was like,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
no, it's not a thing. So
Yeah, I remember like in my neighborhood there was a rumor of there was like a haunted house and like some girl had died there like
evil old lady on the block.
yeah. Um so I wanted to ask you when you were a kid and you were first if you ever did this, I don't know whatever, but like when you were first like on the internet like looking at like girl shit or like inappropriate shit whatever, did you ever get caught doing any of that stuff when you were a kid?
No, because I was always more tech savvy than my parents. So I knew how to delete my browser history. But
Yeah.
certainly, certainly indulged, which not to get all deep, but like
Right.
like obviously I turned out fine, but like one, the first exposure was like 14,
Okay.
so which is not obviously old enough, but like not
Right.
a fucking grade school. And two, it
Yeah.
was on the family's computer, so like there was an
Yeah.
element of friction there. Now, man,
Hmm.
I couldn't imagine being a parent with every smartphone having just 3 clicks away from like graphic porn.
Right.
And you have to decide if you're gonna get your 8-year old one of these porn machines, basically.
Right.
Like, man, we're a long way from me stealing your dad's magazines to
Right.
whatever the fuck you could find on the
Or
internet
like,
today.
yeah, like I remember when I was a kid, like it'd be like we like if my dad usually like fell asleep watching TV like downstairs, or whatever. So sometimes, it'd be he watching like whatever movie, and then late night cable would come on, and like me and my brother, we'd like at the edge of the stairs, like be like, look at that on the TV, shit like that, whatever. And now it's just like everywhere. Like you can just scroll Twitter and it's like right there.
Let me
Like
tell
even the
you,
shit you see on Instagram, it's like, how is this able to post on Instagram? Like that's crazy.
dude, as someone who's recently returned to office, I had to turn off auto videos on Twitter because people do not
Yeah,
respect so I haven't worked in the office in roughly a decade, as the audience
yeah.
knows at this point. But like back then, there was like a daytime truce on posting wild shit because there was an understanding that people were at work.
You were at work.
Not no more, man. Especially that For You tab.
No, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Man.
No.
And like I know
I
like my Instagram algorithm, at least that's
mhm,
sort of like tailored to me. Uh,
yeah.
you know, so I don't really get too much of it on there. but
Hmm.
there's some, like I say, my For You tab is basically sneakers, the gym, cooking, and ass. And
Hmm.
but it's like tasteful ass. It's not porn. It's
Right.
just meeting,
Oh, gotcha.
IG models and
Bad.
such. So,
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
I feel you. Yeah.
in their profile, there's a link to probably something more explicit, but the actual
Right.
IG pictures are tastefully lusty,
That's
for lack of a better
hilarious.
word. So,
And I remember, so we had a family computer. I think my dad may have had a work laptop at the time, whatever. And I remember I was like 12 and I first started like looking for shit on the internet, and I didn't know how to delete history or anything like that. And my dad's a software engineer, so you
oh
know,
God,
and yeah, so he was one time he was like, "You remember a second, John? I want to talk to you." I'm like, "What? Yeah, what's up?" And he's like, he just started listing names of the the actors that I was Googling, so to speak. And I was just like, "No, I don't. That name doesn't sound familiar to me." And then they were like, "Yeah, no computer for a month."
no, I never got caught because I knew my parents weren't tech savvy. And
Yeah,
so, but let me tell you, stumbling upon AskParade.com for a 14-year-old boy is like, it's like finding a pot of gold. It's
no,
like
yeah,
Scrooge McDuck.
for
Just like that. What was it, Darkwing, where he's just jumping in the pool of coins?
Darkwing. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's kind of what it was like.
Uh, no, for me
So
it was the ones I liked when I was like a kid or whatever, kid,
you
teenager.
you don't
Was
really have to say it.
Oh yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's fine if you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I went for the
Um
most like benign one for a porn
okay.
site, but yeah.
Yeah.
So well, this was back before. Like now, this is like there was actual websites, and now it's just like
Right.
YouTube but porn, and it's
Yeah.
just way again still inappropriate, but just much more appropriate within its inappropriateness. Like
Correct. Yeah.
like
It
it
was
just
tastefully distasteful.
correct. And now I again, man, I wouldn't give my kid a smartphone until they were a teen and then like 16 years old. I just
Yeah,
would
no,
not.
it's pretty great. And all like
I
all
think
these
schools
apps where you
should
can like
ban them.
message people in other countries and shit, like it's just really, yeah, it's
I
crazy.
think schools should ban them. I don't think parents should get their kids them. Every parent you tell about school banning phone, they start talking about school shooters. First of all, you're not John Wick. Ain't shit you can do. Um, you ask them like, well, what happens if there's a school shooter? I'm like, what the fuck you gonna do? Like,
By the way, you them texting you
it's
may get them
bad,
killed.
right?
Um,
You're just first of all, do you want 100 teenagers texting and calling? You're just You're just putting up a red flag of where to shoot you.
hey, we're over here. Yep.
Furthermore, it confuses law enforcement. Like law enforcement has to coordinate a counter and to get these kids
Hmm.
out. And if you're telling your kid to go here and
Right.
there, I get it. You want the illusion of control, but that's all it is. It's an illusion. You're only
Yeah.
going to make it worse texting your kid during an emergency like that.
Hmm.
And I get it though. But
Yeah, I feel
it's
you.
they are so bad for learning. The content on them is so inappropriate for children. I just don't even
Hmm.
know how it's an argument. You ban them from schools. Anyway, I don't even know how we got here. But where are we at on Act One, man? What
Um,
else you got?
oh yeah, so there's a scene where they're riding bikes, like the opening scene with all three kids, and they're like, "We're sixth graders now." And then the kid Thor, he's like, "Yeah, and in sixth grade, everybody gets a hand job." And they're like, "What's that?" And he's like, "It's like when a girl jerks you off until you coom."
little early, buddy. That's like more ninth grade, 10th grade.
Right.
It's a little early, buddy. Sixth grade, you're still making out. You might
Yeah.
grab a butt or two, but
Hmm.
the hand job started about the ninth or 10th grade. So
Yeah. If you have a healthy childhood.
fair. If you yeah. Um, let's get out of here before we get in trouble. Do you remember your
Yep.
first beer? Yes. Do you remember your first beer?
Honestly, I don't. I think when I was like maybe like 12 or 13, I like took a sip of like some of my parents like liquor one time, and I obviously didn't like it. Like I think I tried like some hypnotic. I was like 13 once. Like I don't remember my first beer though. I think I might have been in college when I had my first beer.
I was in eighth grade. We were we got some bullshit weed, and we were
Mhm.
in the woods, and a guy out there was just drinking beer. I don't know why he was drinking beer in the woods. Whatever. And he was just like, he just gave us a beer and we split it and we sipped it. It was nasty as hell. I don't even remember what kind of beer
Yeah.
it was. It was shitty beer, but I remember it. It's my first sip. The weed was bullshit. Don't even think it got me high. Don't even know if it was weed. But
White grass.
I definitely remember it because I was in the woods with my boy Kyle, and my boy Quincy. And we had a beer and some shitty weed. So, got anything else for Act One?
Um. Oh yeah. So even like when they're drinking the beer, like and the one cool kid, he's like, "Oh, I think I'm drunk." Like it's just like really like the way kids lie is crazy. Like,
Well, if you have zero tolerance and you are
well,
in the sixth grade and you
true.
drink actual real beer, drunk, probably not. But I mean, I
Yeah.
imagine that, you know, I remember in the eighth grade, like those two sips, I was not normal. And so, but you have no tolerance for it, and you're already in your body. I mean, there's a reason why they have age limits on these things.
Right.
It's not just to be annoying. It's because you should not give a developing body poison.
Yeah.
You know, so
Um. Also, I thought it was funny where like they were at the skate park and like the cool kids had scooters. It just makes me think of like when I was a kid, like the coolest thing in the world was like those Heelys, like the shoes with the wheels on the back. Like
yeah. Do they light
if you
up?
had those, you were yeah. If you had those, you were like a Jetson or some shit. Like you know.
Ours are bikes, man. If you had a cool little a Schwinn mountain bike or not mountain
Hmm.
bike, the little joints with the
Yeah, with the
so
BMX
we would,
things.
yeah, we would, man. Saturday, I do my little chores in the morning. I would leave and I'd
Hmm.
just be gone all motherfucking day. They, have no idea where I was.
Yeah, yeah. For us, it was like yeah, if you had a bike, you basically had a car. Like,
Yeah,
and if
pretty
your bike
much.
had the And if your bike had the kegs on it, you were cool as fuck. Like I remember I was big into like BMX and shit like that. And like I loved like Tony Hawk and stuff as a kid. So I had like a little ramp and like the little skateboard and all that shit. Like you can tell me shit.
Got anything else for Act One?
No, that's all I got for Act One.
Act Two, we're gonna call it the Desperate Scramble. To replace the stolen drone before their parents find out, the boys must embark on a wild adventure across town, encountering high schoolers, rebellious girls, and facing unforeseen obstacles in their quest. This was definitely it was obviously like a present day movie,
Hmm.
but it was clearly written by people who either don't have children or don't know how raising children is today. Because this is
Yeah.
written by latchkey kids. And
Right.
no way this could happen in the modern helicopter parenting environment. Like it's just
No.
no like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a modern movie. It's clearly made for present day, but it's written by people who just have no idea what kids are like these days. Like there's no
Correct.
way no parents let their kids just roam the neighborhood anymore. Like
No.
when's the last time you like were just walking your neighborhood and you saw kids just being kids? Like it's not a thing. Like
Yeah, that's true.
it's like it's just these are clearly latchkey kids and it's just
Hmm.
it felt out of place me watching this. I was like, no kids live like this anymore. Like just walking around the
Interesting.
neighborhood
Yeah.
and seeing kids outside and they're going from house to house and no one's checking in and no one's that. It's just like
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
clearly written by people who either don't have children or aren't familiar with how, whatever's going on with kids these
Correct.
days.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's true. Um, so they hear about the kissing party, obviously. They're trying to learn how to kiss before that. So they get the drone and of course they break the girls catch the drone and they hadn't break I don't think they'd broken the drone at that point yet. And they're like at Thor's parents' house and they're like, all right, we gotta get some weapons. And they're like, all right, I found my parents have a lot of weapons or whatever, and it's just like all sex toys.
yeah.
And that shit was crazy. And then like I think we got some anal beads.
Yeah. Oh God. I do remember that. Honestly, I found that I just was a little uncomfortable, man, watching these kids with sex toys.
Yeah.
I just I don't know, man, if I'm getting squeamish in my old age, but I was just like,
Uh-huh.
I don't know, man. Can we? This movie, man, it should have been PG-13. I knew the spots where I was supposed to laugh,
Right.
but it just felt weird. Like, were these child actors?
Yes.
Were there laws going on? Like, I was just a little creeped out, to be
Yeah,
honest
like
with you.
they couldn't watch the movie like obviously without an adult. Like they couldn't even I think I read something where like a lot of the kids didn't know what the words they were saying meant. And one of the producers was like, just ask your mom when you go home.
Yeah, I'm weirded out. I'll be honest with you. Okay. Let's hope there's not a HBO special about this movie in 10 years.
Yeah, yeah. I hope they were all I hope all the kids were taken care of and protected and things of that nature. Um
I just was like, man, I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old
yeah,
and sensitive in my old age. But what else you
yeah, that
got for
might
Act
be it.
Two?
Um I thought it was interesting, like they that the one kid's parents got divorced, and they like
Yeah.
showed how that really does affect kids because like people act like kids are stupid or like that they don't know certain shit or whatever. But like when you're a kid and your parents get divorced, like I had friends who we all had friends whose parents got divorced when we were kids, and like that was a big thing. Like sometimes they had to move away, or like the kid got really depressed, or they started acting out and doing wild shit. Like that definitely like can change the trajectory of like a kid's like formative years. So I thought they did a good job of like I mean obviously the movie's very silly and funny, but they did a good job of like showing that like that shit does affect kids because they are human beings. People forget that, I feel like,
Yeah.
especially when they get older. So I like that they focused on that as well.
I wish they had done a little more, but I get that they would have been out of place in a movie with this tone.
Mhm.
Tighten up. Life is life, kid. Like it's all that fucking crying. Stop all that damn crying. Tighten up. Your parents are getting a divorce. I get it. It sucks, but you know, I don't really do whining. I don't do self-loathing and I don't do whining. But Thor could sing, right?
Yeah, he could sing his ass off.
He was pretty good. Did you, as a child, have any secret passions or interests you were afraid of being teased about?
Trying to think. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I was a band kid for a couple years in middle school. I wasn't like ashamed of, it, but like people picked on me because I like played the trombone and I was like really short as a kid and I had like a big ass music case. So they're like, "Oh, the case is bigger than you," like this. So that was like frustrating. And then there's the whole thing of uh, like, did you ever get called an Oreo as a kid?
Yeah. Well, affectionately called Professor.
Hmm.
But yeah, yes, certainly there's a certain level of stigma
Right,
to young black children, especially young black men who don't present a certain way.
right,
And anyone who says there wasn't is just lying.
correct.
But no, I mean, yes,
Yeah, like
yeah, I mean,
I.
certainly. But it
Mhm.
was always came from a place of affection where I was just like, my
Right.
nickname was Professor. So
So for me, it wasn't so much at school. Well, I got called Oreo at school, but like whatever. But at the church we went to, there was a lot of kids there who weren't uh in the most stable of situations at home, and I think there was like a little bit of resentment there too. Well, there was some resentment sprinkled in with just like ignorance as well. And like I remember like when they learned that like I played tennis growing up, like had lessons and I was like really really good, and and they were like, oh, like black people don't play tennis, like that sort of thing. It was like the high school well, you didn't see that movie, but it was like one of those things where like you just get picked on for doing something that normal people do, but like because it's what you don't fit the archetype,
well, okay,
it's viewed
so
as odd.
tennis is very much an upper middle class leisure activity. It's
Yeah.
not something that everyone
But like I
does.
didn't play in a country club. I played like at fucking courts at fucking, Lynn at the Lynn Road Park or what, it wasn't like, I was at some golf club. But no, I get what you're saying though.
Did you draw and do other sissy shit besides tennis? Like, what? Tennis? Nah, man. I was
Nah,
cheesing. I
yeah.
still hooped.
Well, no, I did everything. I was one of those kids who did everything. So I loved basketball, so I hooped. I was big into sketching for a minute. I just like stopped doing it. I started writing poetry when I was like 12. What else did I do? I mean, obviously I love movies, so like that was a big thing for me too. Just going to movies a lot, watching movies and shit. I think at one point I either wanted to be an actor or wanted to go to film school at various points of like life and adolescence. Yeah, I was one of those kids who was just genuinely like into everything. Like I tried pretty much everything. I did taekwondo with my brother for a couple of years. Like yeah, my parents kind of very much supported like us like doing shit that we enjoyed and having different hobbies.
Fair enough. Were you secretly good at like really good at it? Like there's something okay. What's one thing
Mhm.
you're secretly good at that people would be surprised to know?
Like now or as a kid?
As a yeah, well, as a kid, because it's the frame of the movie. So
Yeah, I mean, as a kid, I'd say poetry guy because I wasn't really telling people that I did poetry. Um, I would say now, what am I secretly good at? Um, I mean, any sort of like anything involving throwing, I'm pretty good at. Like I'm really good at darts, like shit like that. Um, any like competitive like guessing or trivia games, I'm like freakishly good at. Like Taboo or Jeopardy, shit like that. Um, that's all that comes to the top of my head right now. What about you?
well, so I mean, I would have said cooking before I started posting cooking on Instagram. Secret passions. As a kid, like, so I love sports games, but I didn't
Mhm,
like head to head or online sports gaming. I like to play offline franchise mode, and that
mhm.
was like people just did not understand why I would enjoy that, and so
Yeah.
um searching for sliders for Madden, I think I found this website called Operation Sports where
Hmm.
they would have people who would like upload sliders and everything, and like you could they would we would email each other email this before email we would mail each other memory cards,
Yeah.
and so we would have rosters in that way, and that's actually how I've met a lot of I call them my internet friends,
Hmm.
like most of the people I interact with on Twitter, and we met talking on the Operation Sports forums,
Yeah.
and we would just talk about sports video games, and then they would get into off-topic segments where we would talk about real sports, like actual, like the live events, and
Right.
then we would talk
Yeah.
about the other video games and things like that. And then we all kind of sort of migrated over to Twitter into our own little hubs. And so, I mean,
Okay.
I've been talking shit. I met some of them in high school, and we're still cool today.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, I guess that would be like people would like I guess tease me and be like, "You want to play against the computer? That's boring." And
Yeah.
I always found that more interesting than playing head to head against other people. I still do. I still play with my brother and things
Interesting.
like that. But I found a whole internet community of other people, like-minded people who like to do that, who probably were teased for the same exact. They didn't want to
Right.
play. So shout out to my OS friends.
Yeah, I'm with you. So I don't really like doing franchise mode. I like superstar mode, and
Yeah,
then or I'll play. Yeah, I'll do superstar mode, obviously quarterback, and then I'll play defense or sorry offense only because I don't always like playing defense. I'd rather just play offense the whole time if I could.
fair enough.
So I just do that so I can just practice offense like nonstop. Oh, I did think of another secret passion though. Especially like growing up, I was always really big into Greek mythology.
Yeah.
I always thought that was like the coolest, like most interesting shit ever. Like the stories are great. The mythological creatures and the Mount Olympus and all that. I had like this like I bought this like fucking massive like Greek mythology storybook like probably 7 or 8 years ago. Um yes, I love all that shit like Hercules, fucking Oedipus, Clash of the Titans, Wrath of the Titans, all those.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed world building with World of Warcraft, everyone knows what that is.
Hmm.
I would write like sort of like fan fiction based off of my characters in World of Warcraft
Hmm.
and just I don't know, just build a world that way. Part of the reason why I like offline franchise mode is like in my head, I like build stories around the characters in the game. And so like I
Got you.
can through the NFL draft in the game, I can draft rookies and build their stories up and all that shit's make believe. But,
Yeah.
what is fiction if it's not, make believe? So as a kid, it was weird, and so you just play offline
Hmm.
franchise and you draft the people and you get all these creative players almost onto your team, and I built background stories for them, and sometimes I'd write it down and
Yeah.
flesh it out from there, and I do that with other video games that single player games, and I've grown out of it a lot now. I don't game nearly as much as I used to, but I still enjoy sort of like the writing of the fan fiction around the my franchise modes. And so
Okay.
if you'll ever catch me like post a clip, like there was like it was like I was like in year 6 of a Madden franchise, and TJ Hawkinson's my tight end, and like we couldn't like we just the cap budget, he was like his last year on the team, and like it was in the Super Bowl,
Hmm.
and I made sure I got him a touchdown because it was his last game on the team, and all this shit is fake, it's Madden, but like it
Right.
really felt good because I've played so many games with him, and I was like, it's your last year on the team, we got to let you walk because the
Yeah.
rookie behind you's better, but it's a blowout. We're gonna keep you in the game for this one last touchdown. And I don't know. I felt good, and I'm like, this shit is all fake. This shit is all in my head. This is a fucking character in a video game, but it felt great.
That's hilarious. But
Yeah.
it
So
like I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like I think passion like is supposed to be like that. Like I actually told I was on the phone with somebody the other day and I was talking about like the books I'd read so far this year. And I told them I was like, you're gonna think I'm crazy or it's gonna sound weird when I say this, but I told her I was like, I actually finished Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, which is the final book, for the first time this year. And I was like, I didn't want to finish it because like when you finish it, then it's over. You know what I mean? And I kind
right.
of always never wanted to like officially be over. But eventually I was like, okay, well, I gotta finish at some point, you know. And it's not like I can't go back and reread or watch the movies and stuff, but it's just like a nice I don't know, like memory to kind of hold on to, like a little piece of like childhood, so to speak, to kind of leave undone in a sense. Um,
It makes sense.
so yeah, nothing wrong with having a little bit of passion, you know?
It's just you never want to lose your imagination.
Correct. Exactly.
It's like a little piece of your childhood. You want to get into Act 3?
Yeah, that's where all the good shit happens.
Act 3, the party's resolution. The boys' journey culminates in their arrival at the party where they must confront the consequences of their actions, their changing friendships, and the realities of growing up and leaving childhood behind. Did not have an observation for this one, other than are you still
Okay.
cool with anyone from grade school?
Um, yeah, a few people were found like on Facebook and Instagram and shit like that. So we kind of keep in touch. Don't speak often, obviously, but it's always just good to see them on the net or like I've run into some people maybe downtown every once in a while or out at like a bar or something like that. I've That's happened a few times. Um, well, but I moved away when I was 12 from a lot of my childhood friends, so it was a little harder to you know, kind of hold on to because before cell phones, you move away, it's like you died. So
Yeah. It's like you moved to Mars.
right, yeah, and then you're only fucking 15 minutes down the road. So yeah, it's like from grade school, not really. High school, obviously, I got a few people I'm still cool with. But yeah, I was always kind of a floater anyway, so it was I just tended to lose touch with people. Just,
Fair enough.
so yeah. What about you?
Uh, my best friend Jeremy, I've known since sixth grade. Um, that's no one else from grade school. I know some people from middle school, but I don't keep in touch with them.
Right.
Somebody I went to middle school with in high school. No, he went to Armstrong. We went just middle school with, but we just kept in touch. Like we're both sneakerheads and we both
Okay.
flame emojis each other's sneakers. I guess that's keeping in touch. Um, and no, after that, most of my friends I met as an adult. So
Right.
yeah, but my best friend I've known since sixth grade. Um,
Okay.
so what you got for Act 3?
Um, oh yes. Well, I do want to say that one of the worst things that can ever happen to a child outside of like tragedy is their parents coming home early from work or from a trip.
Again, no one was supervised, but
Yeah, I mean, I got so many ass from like just them coming home early. Like if only they had came home like at 5 o'clock.
but that's kid logic though, because like why would you think someone arrives home at the same time every single day?
Yeah, that is true.
And why would you not build yourself more than like 30 minutes of wiggle room? You
Right, like
that's how kids think though.
like
They're
you didn't wash it. I didn't wash it. You didn't wash a dish. You didn't put the meat out. Like nothing. Like just
like mom gets home at 5 o'clock. I'm good until 4:45. Like, no, that's
yep.
not.
That was literally our logic. Like, and like my dad, he always had like flexible work schedule because of his jobs. And like he just loved like surprising us, like coming home in the middle of the day and shit like that, especially like summer breaks. Like he would sneak in through like the deck door or whatever shit, and we used to be doing shit we weren't supposed to be doing. And yep, it was a wrap. Like I remember one summer, I was one of those kids who just like tried everything, like just cause why not? And I was like, I wonder if we jumped off the banister onto the foyer, like could we make it? And I was like, well, let's just stack up the couch, all the couch cushions and try it. So we were gonna try it, and luckily we didn't do it. And the second we put like the last couch cushion on back on the couch, my dad came home. We were like, "Oh, thank God."
You know, he probably know. Like he just let it go.
You know what? That's
He
probably what
just,
happened. That's probably what happened.
as a parent, sometimes you like respect the ingenuity. You're like, you
Yeah,
didn't get away with it, but I respect how close you came, so I'm gonna let it
yeah,
go. Like,
yeah, man. I remember actually had an incident kind of similar to with the kid where he wrecked the house with the drone.
yeah.
So I was big into movies and I was always big into like filmmaking. So one year for Christmas I got a camcorder. So I would just record random shit. And I always love like doing flips and handstands and stuff like that. So I practice, but I was practicing like in the house. And so I set up the camcorder in the dining room so I could record myself. Like I'd run from the foyer and flip over like the ottoman onto the couch, and I just do front flips like all day. And something I had recorded like a graduation or some shit like that on my camera, so we were like watching the footage, and then my parents were like, "Oh, what's this?" And they click play, and it's me just doing front flips with my shoes on in the house onto the couch that they had just bought.
Nah, when I was in middle school, the statute of limitations is probably gone. Well, definitely gone on this.
Yeah,
We recorded ourselves like running in this kid's house. We didn't do it. We didn't steal anything or anything like that. But we were just
yeah,
like running a prank on him, and we recorded
hmm
ourselves doing it. And he called the cops or whatever because he didn't, And we basically we filmed ourselves committing like, and so the cops had the tape and like they ain't arrest us or nothing. They just told our
yeah.
parents, and my mom was like, "You recorded it," and I was like, "I didn't do anything." And she's like, "Do we have it on tape?" And I'm like front and center of the tape, screaming curse words, and she's just like. I think we had to do a little community service for it. Like the cops were like, we're not gonna, put them in the system, arrest them or anything, but like
Yeah.
they have to do like, clean up at the Y or whatever. And so
hmm
that was my run in with the law.
With the law.
We was wrong as hell though. We did just like bully that kid. And I don't even remember his name or who I was even. I remember one person I was. I don't talk to nobody and people anymore. But
Yeah.
that is my yeah, that's my run in with the law. We were just like
Um,
terrorizing the neighborhood. There's like we were just running around the city like with nothing to do, and we
yeah.
just getting into trouble like teenage boy, like teenage appropriate trouble though. We weren't
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the Kia
yeah.
boys and shit like that, but just
hmm
I think we were in middle school appropriate trouble. But
Yeah.
that's being a young boy. You have to allow for some mischief. So, you got
Yeah,
anything
with
else for Act
kids,
Three?
yeah. Um, yeah, I love that they showed that when they played spin the bottle and it was the friend's bottle to kiss the girl he liked, and he just like walks upstairs and it's like, I'm just gonna take looking stupid so you can kiss the girl you like. I thought that was
Yeah.
very cool.
Sometimes you gotta take one for the team.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really have anything that I can say on camera about that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I did like that this movie like did kind of because they're kids, so it's on a smaller scale, but it showed like the archetypes of like that kids fall under. Like Thor was like the gonna if it was high school, he would have been the theater kid, the
yeah.
artsy kid. Lucas would have been like the hall monitor or like an ROTC or some shit. And then Max would have been like the popular kid who was just cool, that everybody like wanted to hang out with. Um
Shout out to the black kid's character not being black kid.
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
gave
He
him
wasn't the black best friend.
yeah, they gave him something to do other than being black. So that was nice.
Yes. Yeah.
Lil Rel
And he had two
Howery, good
parents.
actor. Yeah. You know, he wasn't like he didn't come from poverty and they didn't make that his story. So
Yeah,
he
and the
wasn't
mom
the
wasn't
friend that
like,
needed like new shoes and
yeah, and he wasn't like his mom wasn't like the sassy lady who came to school with the bonnet on,
uh,
like.
yeah, he wasn't impoverished and all of that good stuff. So all right, anything else for Act Three?
Um, no, I think that's pretty much everything I got. You got
There?
anything?
No, the third act is pretty straightforward. So no, to answer your question, I don't have anything else. I
Right.
kind of didn't really have anything to say about the movie, so I kind of wanted to ask coming of age type questions because I kind of
Yeah.
wanted to use the movie to go from there. But what do you rate it?
I think it's a fun watch. I mean, as in, like, I was like probably 24, 25 when this movie came out. So no, wow, no, 25, 26 when this movie came out when I first saw it. And since I have got older, I was like, yeah, it is a little crazy that they had kids doing and saying some of this shit. But it is, it is
Ah,
an
man.
enjoyable movie, and it does have a very sweet message. So I'm gonna give it 3 stars.
I'm gonna go with 3.2. I enjoyed it. Three as well, not 3.2. I'm
Mhm.
gonna go with three as well. Would I watch it again? Probably not, but it's a good first watch. And
Yeah.
yeah, some of those scenes made me a little uncomfortable as a 37-year-old man. All right. Thanks for listening. My name is Darius. That's D's all up in your area on all socials.
And I'm Jordan. That's Jordy be writing on all socials.
Please rate, like, subscribe. We are at Out the Trunk Pod on all socials. That is Out the Trunk Pod on all socials.
And for any ongoing movie recommendations, please reach out to us via email at outthetrunkpod@gmail.com. That's outthetrunkpod@gmail.com. That's a wrap. Thanks for coming to the movies. We'll be back next week reviewing Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. You
All right,
guys take
y'all.
care.